The best way to get better at programming is to practice. And in this example, we're going to look at combining conditional operators using the AND and the OR, as well as using the Boolean logic NOT operator. As always, this file is available for download using the link provided below in the description. We'll give you a couple of seconds so you can download it, and then we'll go ahead and start working on this. You can follow along, or you can choose to do it on your own and then check your answer at the end. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do when we check our condition is we're going to say if, in our parentheses, and then we're going to have our first condition. So we're going to say daily sales is greater than 4,000, okay? And then if we want to use the AND, in some languages, you write the word AND. However, in Java, just like in something like C or C++, you use the double ampersand sign. So you just do Shift-7, hit that twice, and in this case, we'll say manager. Now you might go, well, why manager? Why not manager equals true or equals false? Well, because manager is a Boolean data type, we can automatically simply use that. We don't have to specify equals true or equals false. It's already a Boolean. Now you notice that our daily sales is greater than 4,000 and we're saying they're a manager. Now, right now our manager is false. So if I go and run this, we're not going to get any printout because the AND says that both have to be true. Because both has to be true and manager is false, it's not going to print out a bonus has been awarded. If I change that to true, now these are both true and we can now see in our printout a bonus has been awarded. So this is a kind of a nice thing, real quick and easy for us to do. As we said earlier, and with an AND, both sides on the AND have to be true. However, there's a neat little trick that you can do to write efficient code. Java uses what we call shortcut logic. And what that means is as soon as it finds a false when we're dealing with an AND, it knows that it cannot be true and it quits checking. So always put the thing that's more likely to be false first. That way, if it is false, it doesn't bother to go through the rest of the checks. And conditional checks sometimes take a little while. Let's take a look at using the OR operator. It's going to start off the same with an if. We're going to say bonus is greater than 1,000. And in this case, we're going to use the two vertical lines. These are referred to as pipes, and they're often found above the enter key. So our bonus is greater than 1,000 or manager. Okay, and here we can do something else. So you might say something like system.out.println. You get the weekend off. Now this is a little bit different than the AND because either one can be true. You don't have to have both true, just either or. This means that you want to put the thing that's more likely to be true first because that way it's going to quit checking. Once again, it's that shortcut logic. It's going to quit checking because once one is true, the whole condition is considered to be true. If I go and run this, notice it says you get the weekend off. That's because the manager is true, even though our bonus, as you might see up on line 10, is set to 0. Okay, so either one is true, therefore the whole thing is true. If this was set to false and we try to run this, nothing will print out because in the AND, you have to have both be true and neither one is true in the OR. Now, finally, there's one more Boolean conditional operator, and that's a NOT operator. So I'm going to say if, and then for not, we use the exclamation point. Okay, so it's different than a pipe. It looks similar at first glance. You want to keep a good close eye on this, but this is the exclamation point, sometimes referred to as a bang. And then we want to use whatever tool we're doing. So this is the equivalent of saying if manager equals false. Okay, so if not manager. So here we'll just put your regular line worker because you're not a manager. And if we run this, manager is false. So this is coming up and showing as true. When we go run this, because manager is set to false, it takes the opposite of manager, makes our condition true, and therefore we have an easy way of running this. So these are our three conditional operators that we have inside of Java. If you've programmed in C and C++, they should look very familiar to you because they're exactly the same. A little bit different if you're using some other languages like Visual Basic, Python, etc. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If so, please give it a like and consider subscribing so you can see other videos in this series on how to get better at programming in Java.